Hello, today I will be giving you a brief overview of PRINCE2, and in this presentation we will be covering what is PRINCE2, what is a project, an example of output, outcome and benefits, projects and strategic planning, what sort of projects is PRINCE2 suitable for, the PRINCE2 framework, which includes the 7 PRINCE2 principles, the 7 PRINCE2 themes, the 7 PRINCE2 processes, and tailoring the project. So first of all, what is PRINCE2? PRINCE is an acronym, which is why it is always written in capital letters. PRINCE stands for Projects in a Controlled Environment. It is a de facto process-based method for effective project management, and the number 2 in PRINCE2 means it is a second version which was initially released in 1996. However, the most recent edition of PRINCE2 was released in 2009. So when you are studying PRINCE2, always make sure that the study materials are for the 2009 edition. PRINCE2 is a project management method. It originated in the UK government, but now it is used all over the world. The official PRINCE2 manual is called Managing Successful Projects in PRINCE2, published in 2009, and this is where much of the information from this presentation came from. PRINCE2 is generic, so it is not concerned with specialist aspects. A project manager might and probably will do some of the specialist work on the project. That is not part of a project manager's role, and so it is not covered by PRINCE2. Leadership capability. Leadership is an important part of the project manager's role, but the techniques are extremely varied and so they cannot be codified into a method. And PRINCE2 is not concerned with detailed project management techniques. Rather, it leaves these up to the individual project managers. And because PRINCE2 is generic, it works alongside, for example, PMBOK, which stands for A Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge. Many people believe that PRINCE2 and PMBOK are somehow in opposition to each other, or that you must choose one or the other to manage a project, but that is not true. PRINCE2 is a project management method, but it is not concerned with detailed project management techniques. On the other hand, PMBOK is concerned with detailed project management techniques, but it is not a project management method. So you can see how the two can work well together. PRINCE2 also works with SOPHIA, which is a skills framework for the information age. This is a framework for managing skills within the information technology industry. It too originated in the UK government and is now in use worldwide. PRINCE2 also works well with engineering models, project life cycles, and industry-specific techniques. I've mentioned projects several times already, but what is a project? If we are managing projects, we need to be able to answer this question clearly. According to the book Managing Successful Projects with PRINCE2, a project is a temporary organisation that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business products according to an agreed business case. So how does a project differ from business as usual? Projects are temporary. This means they have a beginning and an end. They are temporary organisations, and so after a project is completed, the project team members will leave the team to return to the usual jobs or to work on the next project, and the temporary organisation will no longer exist. Projects create change in an organisation, so a project is not part of the organisation's everyday work, but rather it is meant to deliver specific individual products for specific requirements. Projects are cross-functional. That means that people with different skills and coming from different parts of the organisation, and maybe also from outside the organisation, will be brought together to work on the project. Projects are unique. Even if the product you're developing is very similar to an existing product, the different mix of people involved, the circumstances, skills and issues will combine to make it unique in some way. Projects involve uncertainty and risks. Every project has a mix of threats and opportunities which are different from the mix of threats and opportunities of business as usual. But the risks in creating the product will be outweighed by the benefits that the product will deliver. PRINCE2 projects are started in response to a business case, and in fact the business case remains a key document throughout the entire project. The business case is one of the themes of PRINCE2, which we will cover later. The project will create outputs in the form of business products. Note that in PRINCE2 a product can also be a person, a process, a service and/or a system, so the focus of quality is on a product's ability to meet its requirements. And products do not have to be physical objects such as a house or a website. For example, you may have a project intended to reduce service desk response times by 25%. These business products enable outcomes. An outcome is a result of the change derived from using the project's outputs. The outcomes deliver benefits. PRINCE2 defines a benefit as the measurable improvement resulting from an outcome that is perceived as an advantage by one or more stakeholders. And these expected benefits from the product are defined in the business case. It is important to note that benefits may or may not be monetary. For example, the project may be initiated in response to a legal requirement, such as to implement new tax laws. Now let's have a brief example of outputs, outcomes and benefits. Suppose we have a project, and that project will upgrade the service desk system, and the project delivers a product which is the output of the project. And the product of the project is obviously the service desk system upgraded. Note that the service desk system upgrade is not an outcome, nor is it a benefit. An outcome is merely an enabler. There are no outcomes produced until people start actually using the output. So, when people start using the product, the upgraded service desk system in this case, the product delivers outcomes. And those outcomes may be service requests are resolved more quickly and accurately. And those outcomes will produce benefits, which could be daily service requests completed up by 15%, response times reduced by 25%. Now we know what projects are and what they produce. However, projects must also be strategic. But what does strategic mean in the context of projects? To examine the relationship between strategy and projects, we must first take a closer look at an organisation. Every organisation has a reason for its existence, a reason why it carries on its business as usual. A brief description of the organisation's reason to exist is normally written in the organisation's mission statement. An example of a mission statement might be, Erudite Scholastic is a software company dedicated to providing high-quality scholastic software to schools and colleges across Western Australia. We intend to deliver value for money products that can compete with the more expensive brands in the market but are uniquely fun to use. The organisation will constantly work every day to maintain this mission. But in order to grow and compete in the marketplace, the organisation should also have a plan for the future, and this plan is called the vision statement. An example of Erudite Scholastic's vision statement might be, in 3 to 5 years' time, Erudite Scholastic intends to be the scholastic software provider of choice for schools and colleges across all of Australia. But how does the organisation achieve its vision? To answer this question, imagine there's a stairway running from the organisation's mission all the way up to its vision. And each step on that stairway is one or more projects of varying size. And each project on the stairway is supported by a business case, linking it to the business strategy and detailing the business benefits. This stairway is called the strategic plan, and it represents the required business change. Now imagine a project has been proposed that is not aligned to the project plan. No matter how fancy or attractive the project may seem, if it is not on the strategic plan, then it is not going to achieve what the business needs to achieve, and so it has to be rejected. And this brings us to, what is project management? According to PRINCE2, project management is the planning, delegating, monitoring and control of all aspects of the project and the motivation of those involved to achieve the project objectives within the expected performance targets of time, quality, scope, benefits and risks. It is possible for a project manager to do some of the specialist work on the project. For example, the project manager may be involved in the business analysis or the testing, but the project manager's primary role is planning, delegating, monitoring and controlling every part of the project, using the tools and techniques of the PRINCE2 method, as well as motivating the team. What sort of projects is PRINCE2 suitable for? PRINCE2 is suitable for any project, in any sort of business or any size of business, in any location or culture. It achieves this in two ways. Firstly, by isolating the management aspects of the project work from the specialist work. And as we saw on the previous slide, the project manager focuses on the management aspects. And secondly, by tailoring the PRINCE2 project to suit the particular requirements, industry and environment. PRINCE2 guides the team through each step of the project management life cycle, so it removes the uncertainty of what to do next, who should do what and when, and it also guides the team when things do not go according to plan. It is built in best practices, developed from the experience of thousands of projects and the input from countless professionals around the world, including project sponsors, project managers, project teams, academics, traders and consultants. It uses a robust framework based on 7 principles, 7 themes and 7 processes, which we'll look at shortly. PRINCE2 is part of a suite of guidance developed by the UK Office of Government Commerce, or OGC as it is commonly called. The suite is split into guides and models. We will not spend any time on these during this presentation, but you need to be aware that these guides exist and where PRINCE2 fits within the overall scheme. Now let's look at the PRINCE2 framework. As previously stated, the framework is based upon 7 principles, 7 themes, 7 processes, and tailoring the project. And tailoring the project is actually principle number 7. Why are the PRINCE2 principles important? The 7 PRINCE2 principles are universal because they apply to all types of projects in all industries and environments, cultures and languages. They are self-validating because they have been proven to work in practice over many years. The principles are empowering because they give project managers confidence that they are doing the right thing and using the right tools and methods, and this enables them to influence the direction and outcomes of the project. But even if you are using the PRINCE2 themes and processes, but you are not managing by PRINCE2 if you are not applying all 7 principles. Let's have a closer look at the 7 PRINCE2 principles. Principle number 1, continued business justification. A PRINCE2 project must continue to be justifiable from a business perspective. A project must have documented and approved justification to be started. This information is recorded in the business case, and once started, the business justification must remain valid. The sponsoring organisation finances a project in order to harvest certain benefits. Obviously, the benefits must be considerably greater than the costs, and so at any time, if it appears the benefits will not be realised, then the project should be stopped to prevent organisational funds from being wasted. Stopping a bad project actually represents a positive contribution to the organisation. Even compulsory projects, such as implementing new tax legislation, require a business case and justification. Note that although justification for projects must continue to be valid, the actual justification may change. Principle number 2, learn from experience. PRINCE2 project teams learn from previous experience. Lessons are sought, recorded and acted upon throughout the life of the project. Lessons learned from projects must be recorded so that information about what succeeded or failed in the past can help guide future projects. There is a wise saying, if we do not learn from history, then we are doomed to repeat it. Organisations have many years over which they can develop business intelligence, and often their daily work has a high degree of repetitiveness. Projects, on the other hand, are temporary organisations and all are unique in some ways. In fact, some are more akin to experiments. Everyone involved in a project can and should record lessons learned and look for ways of improving. But rather than starting from scratch with each project, which would be very inefficient, costly and would definitely increase risk. The project should make use of stored intelligence from previous projects. Although each project is unique, many of the things you need will have been done before, and so you can learn. And when doing something that is truly unique and outside the organisation's experience, you can seek training for the team or contract someone who already has that experience. PRINCE2 reminds us that, as the project closes, the project should pass on lessons, because unless lessons provoke change, they are only lessons identified, not lessons learned. Principle number 3. Define roles and responsibilities. A PRINCE2 project has defined and agreed roles and responsibilities within a structure that engages business, user and supplier stakeholder interests. It is vital that the right people are asked for the right information on the project and that the right people make the right decisions. So this is why PRINCE2 imposes a structure on the project roles. Principle number 4. Manage by stages. A PRINCE2 project is planned, monitored and controlled on a stage-by-stage basis. The main reasons for managing a project as a series of stages are to reduce the burden on senior management while still leaving them in control. The managing by stages creates logical checkpoints where senior management can review the reports, check against the business case, verify if the project is still viable, and if not, they can choose to end the project early. The project should be broken into stages that are manageable and foreseeable. Trying to plan too far ahead is a typical cause of failure in projects. Managing by stages reduces the risk of failure by managing at 2 levels. Firstly, the project as a whole is managed with a high-level plan, and then a detailed plan is produced for each stage as it is required. Of course, stages won't all be the same size, as some parts of the project require more senior management involvement than others. The size of the stages determines the amount of senior management involvement. For example, large stages will reduce senior management involvement, whereas many small stages will increase their involvement. It's all about balance and fine-tuning. PRINCE2 mandates a minimum of 2 stages for any project. This is an initiation stage and at least 1 other management stage. Principle number 5. Manage by exception. A PRINCE2 project has defined tolerance for each project objective to establish limits of delegated authority. As we have seen, managing by stages enables efficient use of senior management resources, but they still need to exercise control. So when a senior management authorises the next stage to proceed, they will delegate the management of that stage to the project manager. But at the same time, they will set tolerances against 6 objectives for the respective level of the plan. And if any of these tolerances are exceeded or are forecast to be exceeded during the stage, then they must immediately be referred up to the next management layer for a decision on what to do next. The 6 tolerances are time, cost, quality, scope, risk and benefit. For example, senior management may set the budget for a stage at -10% and +20%, and so they do not need to be notified unless the budget spent during the stage is going to be less than $90,000 or greater than $120,000. Principle number 6. Focus on products. A PRINCE2 project focuses on the definition and delivery of project, and in particular their quality requirements. A PRINCE2 project focuses on output rather than activities. At the beginning of the project, a collection of products will be defined through product descriptions. The purpose of the project is to deliver these products to the required quality and fulfill the stakeholders' expectations, and therefore products are the most important project consideration. Principle number 7. Tailored to suit the project requirement. PRINCE2 is tailored to suit the project's requirement, size, complexity, importance, capability and risk. Just as a suit of clothing can be altered by a tailor to make it a better fit for a person, a PRINCE2 project can also be tailored to make it a better fit to the project requirements. But again, comparing with the business suit, If the tailor delivers it but is missing the trousers or missing the jacket, it is no longer a suit. In the same way, if one of the principles is removed from the project, it is no longer a PRINCE2 project. The reasons for tailoring are to ensure that the project properly matches its environment and that the controls are appropriate to the size and complexity of the project. Tailoring can be up or down. This means you can add more detail or remove detail depending on the project. The project manager and the project board should agree on the tailoring, and the details of the final tailoring should be recorded in the project initiation document. It is highly recommended that before tailoring a project, you examine lessons learned from at least one other similar project to see what was decided and what worked well and what did not. The 7 PRINCE2 themes. Theme number 1, the business case. The business case establishes mechanisms to judge whether the project is and remains desirable, viable and achievable as a means to support decision making in its continued investment. It answers the question why. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this way? A project starts as an idea that could potentially benefit the organisation. The business case theme considers how this idea could actually deliver this benefit and how the project will be managed to continually maintain a focus on achieving the benefit throughout the entire project. This is a very important theme because if at any time it is decided that the benefit will not be achieved, then the project must be stopped. Theme number 2, the organisation theme. The organisation theme defines and establishes the project structure of accountability and responsibilities. It answers the question who. Who should be involved? Who should perform which roles? Who should make which decisions? A project is a temporary organisation set up to deliver specific outcomes, and this organisation is quite different from the sponsoring organisation. So the organisation theme addresses the roles and responsibilities that must be defined within the project's temporary and cross-functional organisation to enable the project to be managed efficiently and effectively. Theme number 3, the quality theme. The quality theme defines and implements the means by which the project will create and verify projects which are fit for purpose. It answers the question what? What exactly do we have to produce? What will satisfy the user's requirements? Stakeholders have expectations of the outputs, i.e. the products and the results that the project will deliver. And its theme is to ensure that those expectations are met and that the outputs will also deliver the desired benefits. The product focus principle is central to PRINCE2's approach to quality. Sometimes people can get so caught up in managing the project and doing the work and dealing with issues that they lose sight of the fact that the whole purpose of the project is to deliver satisfactory products that are fit for purpose. And the best way to maintain this focus is to put the products at the centre by first defining the quality criteria of each product and the quality management activities that have to be included in the project management plans. The quality theme also encourages continuous improvement throughout the project. Theme number 4, the plans theme. The plans theme facilitates communication and control by defining the means of delivering the products. It answers the question how much and when. One of the most common mistakes that junior project managers make is to call the project schedule the project plan. The project schedule is a chart and is included in the project plan, but the schedule can't help with managing risks or quality, nor will they give you detail of the products you are making. A plan must therefore consider sufficient information and detail to give you confidence that the targets are still achievable. PRINCE2 defines a plan as a document describing when and by whom a specific target or set of targets is to be achieved. These targets will include the project's products, timescales, costs, quality and benefits. Planning requires the team to focus on the future, and in a way it enables them to run through a simulation of the actual project in advance, so they can foresee many risks and issues and consider what quality measures and tailoring is required. But trying to see the entire project in detail is really a waste of time and resources unless it is a totally trivial project, because many things will change once the project is underway. The period of time that you can see ahead with sufficient clarity and accuracy is called the planning horizon. PRINCE2 gets around this problem by defining plans at 3 different levels of scope and detail: project plan, stage plans and team plans. An initiation plan and exception plans are specialised versions of stage plans. So whilst you use the project plan for overall guidance, your main focus is on a particular stage plan at any time, and the individual team members will focus on the team plans related to the stage plan. The project plan is issued by the project board. The stage plans are produced by the project manager, and the team plans are produced by the team managers. Think of managing a project like driving a car on a long journey at night. You have a high-level view of your journey in your mind, but many things can go wrong or change. So really what you should focus on at any time is the detail that you can see in your headlamps. And so what you can see with your headlamps is your planning horizon. Theme number 5, the risk theme. The risk theme identifies, assesses and controls uncertainty, and as a result improves the ability of the project to succeed. It answers the question, what if? What if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? How can we prevent this from happening, or at least reduce the risk or impact? The purpose of the risk theme is to identify, assess and control uncertainty, and as a result improve the ability of the project to succeed. Why do organisations take risks? Because projects are a vehicle for creating change. Change introduces uncertainty, and uncertainties carry risk. So risk is unavoidable in a project, but it can be and must be managed. What is a risk? A risk is an uncertain event or set of events that, should they occur, will have an effect on the achievement of objectives. It consists of a combination of the probability of the perceived threat or opportunity occurring and the magnitude of its impact on objectives. PRINCE2 considers 2 types of risks: threats, which are an uncertain event which could have a negative impact on objectives, and opportunities, which are uncertain events that could have a favourable impact on objectives. What is at risk? The project objectives are at risk. As mentioned earlier, the objectives are time, cost, quality, scope and desired benefits. What is risk management? The systematic application of procedures to the task of identifying and assessing risks, and then planning and implementing risk responses. This provides a disciplined environment for proactive decision making. Risk management enables risk to be identified, assessed and controlled. Managing risk requires the expenditure of time, money and other resources, but these costs will be outweighed by the benefits. Theme number 6, change. The change theme identifies, assesses and controls any potential and approved changes to the baseline. It answers the question, what is the impact? If we make this change, or if we don't make this change, what are the likely impacts on the project? As you begin your project, people will want to make changes. This does not necessarily mean the project was badly planned, but every project is a learning experience. Often the clients do not know exactly what they want until the project is underway and they begin to see products produced by it. Or they may see improvements which could increase the benefits, or there may be a change in the market which could potentially cause benefits to be lost unless changes are made to the products. Or the team might come up with an easier way or a better way to do something. Changes to scope are only one kind of change. Changes can also come from reported errors, complaints, legislative changes, risks occurring, or from a number of other sources. But whatever the reason for the change, just as risk is inevitable in a project, so change is inevitable too. And just the same as for risk, change must also be carefully and methodically managed. And no matter what type of risk, PRINCE2 takes a single, systematic approach to all of them, and it is a continual activity managed throughout the project. The aim of good issue and change management is not to prevent changes from occurring, but rather to ensure that changes are fully investigated and only essential changes are considered and are subsequently authorised by the appropriate people. All approved changes must be reflected in the project's documentation and baselines. Theme number 7, Progress. The Progress theme establishes mechanisms to monitor and compare actual achievements against those planned. It provides a forecast for the project objectives and the project's continued viability, and controls any unacceptable deviations. It answers the questions: where are we now, where are we going, and should we continue the project? The Progress theme helps support the themes of managing by stages and continued business justification by providing monitoring and control mechanisms, and it supports the management by exception theme by using tolerances as control triggers. This means control is required only if a tolerance is exceeded. What is progress? Progress is the measure of the achievement of the objectives of a plan. It can be monitored at a work package, stage and project level. The 7 PRINCE2 processes. Number 1. Starting up a project. The starting up a project process ensures that the prerequisites for initiating a project are in place by answering the question: do we have a viable and worthwhile project? Theme number 2, initiating a project. Initiating a project process establishes solid foundations for the project, enabling the organisation to understand the work that needs to be done to deliver the project's products before committing to a significant spend. Theme number 3, directing a project process. The directing a project process enables the project board to be accountable for the project's success by making key decisions and exercising overall control while delegating day-to-day management of the project to the project manager. Theme number 4, the controlling a stage process. The controlling a stage process is to assign work to be done, monitor such work, deal with issues, report progress to the project board, and take corrective actions to ensure that the stage remains within tolerance. Process number 5, managing project delivery. The managing project delivery process controls the link between the project manager and the team managers by placing formal requirements on accepting, executing and delivering project work. Theme number 6, managing a stage boundary process. The managing a stage boundary process enables the project board to be provided with sufficient information by the project manager so that it can review the success of the current stage, approve the next stage plan, review the updated project plan, and confirm continued business justification and acceptability of the risks. And finally, process number 7, the closing a project process. The closing a project process provides a fixed point at which acceptance of the project product is confirmed, and to recognise the objectives set out in the original project initiation document which have been achieved, or approve changes to the objectives have been achieved, or that the project has nothing more to contribute. In this brief overview we have covered: what is PRINCE2, what is a project, an example of output, outcome and benefits, projects and strategic planning, what sort of projects is PRINCE2 suitable for, the PRINCE2 framework, the 7 PRINCE2 principles, the 7 PRINCE2 themes, the 7 PRINCE2 processes, and tailoring a PRINCE2 project.